Hi, Chris Kuzmal here. I'm going to introduce the idea of using turtle in Python in REPL. And I've already set things up here, so I'm going to start over within REPL, that is. So if I just go to my collection of REPLs and I decide that I'm going to make a new REPL. Oh my gosh, I actually forget how to make a new REPL. Should be obvious, right? I just go to my usual place. I don't know. I don't want to create a new folder. I just want to create a new REPL. Oh my God. I guess in a way it's good to see me struggle. I don't want to publish a REPL. I just want to go home. I just want to go to my, oh, I'm clicking here. Yeah, create a REPL in Python. There we go. So I'm going to create a Python REPL, and it's just to be starting turtle, which is a fairly standard, well-known graphics package. It's like, how do I do graphics in Python in REPL? Well, one simple way to do that is to type import turtle here. And then I'm going to create an object of type turtle by doing x equals turtle, T-U-R-T-L-E, dot capital T-U-R-T-L-E. Okay. And let's run this code, which imports some code called turtle and then creates an object called turtle on line 2. That line of code, we're not going to worry about why that works. You're going to sometimes be, it's one of the things about doing coding is sometimes you just take some code, you don't know what it does, but you got to work with it. You got to work beyond it. And maybe later on, you'll go back and figure out what's going on with that. But when you're dealing with a million lines of code, you can't figure out what it's all doing. Today, we're dealing with one line of code that we don't know how it's working. But when we run it, it creates this interesting sort of window up here with this little arrow here, which I thought I could zoom in on, but maybe not. But there's a little arrow there, okay? And so now what I can do in the console, X has been defined. So I can do X dot forward 100. And what happens is that you can do a command called forward with respect to the object called X, and then give it an argument of 100. In other words, this line of code, X dot forward of 100. And it caused our little arrow to move to the right by 100. Woohoo! And I can I can change the direction that I'm pointing. I can point to the right, and the usual thing to do is to point to the right by 90 degrees. You saw the arrow rotate 90 degrees to the right. I'm gonna go to the right by another 270 degrees to get myself back to the original place I was, and then I'm gonna go to the right by 1/5 of 360 degrees. 360 degrees is all the way around the circle. 1/5 of that would be 1/5 of the way around the circle. So instead of going 90 degrees to the right, I'm going to go 72 degrees to the right. And then I'm going to go forward 100 units. And I'm going to repeat those two things over and over again. X dot right 72, 1/5 of a turn, and then go forward a standard distance. And you'll notice that you might notice a pattern, or might notice a shape starting to take form. I went to the right by 72 degrees. I turn, and I don't want to go right. I want to go forward by 100 units. And of course, you can see the pentagon finishing up, and I'll go ahead and turn 72 degrees to the right and go forward 100 units. And so there I drew a pentagon. So by going forward and turning right, I have the ability to draw what I have. Now there are a number of other commands in Turtle that you can play with, and the book that I have learned from is this Python book. And in the very first chapter, they show you a list of commands that are available to you. And I encourage you to play with that, and we'll play with that more in later videos.